in the quiet suburbs of Portland, Oregon, where pine trees whisper against gray skies and neighbors wave politely while pretending they are an watching each other's lives unfold. I learned that sometimes the mistake you fear will destroy your relationship is the very thing that strengthens it in ways you never imagined. And this is the story of how one wrong decision pulled my marriage to the edge of collapse, before becoming the reason we rebuilt everything with deeper honesty and unshakable love. Sharing it because you might be one moment, one misunderstanding, or one emotional explosion away from losing something irreplaceable. And trust me, if our story teaches you anything, it's this. Wait until the breaking point to fight for the person who fights for you. My name is Claire Dawson, a 32-year-old elementary school teacher who used to believe communication meant talking, but now I know it also means listening, asking, pausing, and refusing to let fear speak louder than truth. My husband Ethan, a 34-year-old commercial photographer, was the calm to my chaos, the early morning coffee maker who left notes on my lunch bag, the man who remembered the way I liked my blankets tucked under my feet at night and the songs I loved to play when I was stressed. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was steady until the night everything changed. The night that started with something so small, so meaningless, that I still can't believe it almost cost us everything. It was a chilly Friday evening, the kind where the streets gleam with rain and everyone rushes home for warmth. I had just finished grading papers when Ethan texted, "Running late." Something came up. "Don't wait on me for dinner." It wasn't unusual for his shoots to run late, but something about this message felt off-cold, distant, careless. I tried to ignore it, but anxiety crawled under my skin like static. 2 hours passed, then 3, no call, no follow-up text. When he finally walked in at nearly midnight, hair wet, jacket damp, camera bag slung over his shoulder, he looked startled to see me still awake. "You scared me," I snapped, not even trying to hide the tremor in my voice. "You didn't answer your phone. You didn't text. What was so important?" He froze, glanced away, then muttered something about a client crisis and a reshoot that couldn't wait. But his tone flat, rushed, almost rehearsed made something twist painfully in my chest. And then I saw it. A faint smudge of lipstick on his collar. Not my shade, not even close. My heart dropped into a cold, dark place I didn't know existed. "What is that?" I whispered. He touched his collar, went pale, then stumbled through a half-formed explanation about a model hugging him goodbye. I didn't believe it. I couldn't. My mind ran Wilden, secret meetings, late nights, lies piling like snow until they bury everything good beneath them. That night we fought harder than ever. I accused. He defended. I cried. He shouted. We both said things we couldn't unsay. He slept on the couch. I stayed in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this was the beginning of the end. The next day wasn't better. Every little thing became a spark. His silence, my suspicion, his defensiveness, my anger. Days turned into weeks, tension building so thick it felt like we were suffocating in our own home. I checked his phone when he showered. I read too much into every late text. I searched for signs that didn't exist, convinced betrayal was hiding somewhere between us. And then came the night that changed everything. I was leaving school when I saw Ethan standing outside his studio with a woman tall, brunette, stunning, stylish in a way that felt threatening. They were talking closely, intensely, almost urgently. My stomach knotted, my throat closed. Before I could stop myself, I stood frozen in the parking lot, watching my marriage like it was a movie I couldn't pause. When she touched his arm, something inside me broke. I drove home, shaking, tears streaming, heart pounding so violently it felt like it would burst. Minutes later, Ethan walked through the door. I didn't yell this time. I didn't fight. I simply said, "Tell me the truth, all of it." And then the truth came, and it shattered me in a way I never saw coming. Not because it was betrayal, but because it was everything I hadn't expected. The woman wasn't a mistress. She wasn't a model. She wasn't someone he was hiding because he wanted her more than me. She was Vanessa, his younger sister's best friend, the same one who had been battling depression quietly for months. The one Ethan had promised to help with a personal photography project, raising awareness for mental health. The late night shoots, her project, the urgent crisis, her panic attack during a session, the lipstick on his collar, from when she had collapsed into his arms, crying after telling him she didn't want to live like this anymore. And she begged him not to tell her parents, not to tell my family, not to tell me because she was ashamed, terrified, and clinging to the last thread of control she felt she had. Ethan honored her privacy because he thought he was protecting her, but in doing so, he broke something in me. I didn't know whether to feel relieved or guilty or furious at myself for assuming the worst. I apologized. He apologized. But apologies don't magically erase wounds, they just remind you that healing is possible. We spent weeks rebuilding, untangling the web of misunderstandings that nearly destroyed us. And through all the pain, all the difficult conversations, all the nights we stayed awake crying, toes, and talking and holding each other like lifelines, I realized something life-changing. Our mistake wasn't mistrust. It was silence. We didn't fall apart because he helped another woman. We fell apart because we stopped sharing our fears, our stresses, our vulnerabilities. We forgot that love isn't just about support during the good moments, it's about transparency during the hard ones. Over time, we healed, slowly, imperfectly, honestly and strangely, beautifully. This entire ordeal made us stronger. We communicate better. We listen more. We pause before assuming. We give clarity instead of leaving space for fear to fill. And we learned that no matter how deep the misunderstanding, no matter how sharp the pain, love can still survive if you fight for it with everything you have. If you're hearing this right now, let me tell you something straight from my heart. Don't lose your person over silence, fear, or assumptions. Fight for clarity before you fight each other. And before you scroll, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more real couple stories, and comment more if you want the next part, because, trust me, the twist that came after this almost ended us again, and you won't believe what happened next.